When you think of Wisconsin, you probably picture rolling green hills dotted with dairy cows, and of course, those iconic cheese hats worn by die-hard Packers fans at Lambeau Field. It's a place where football, farming, and cheese seem to define the culture, and where the winters are as legendary as the local pride. But if you look past the familiar scenes of farms and frozen lakes, you'll discover that Wisconsin has a wilder, more mysterious side. This is a state where strange stories and eerie legends are whispered around crackling campfires, especially on chilly nights when the woods seem alive with secrets. The North Woods are filled with tales that send shivers down your spine. Stories of lake monsters lurking beneath the surface, ghostly apparitions wandering through the mist, and unexplained lights that dance across the water at dusk. These legends have been passed down for generations, growing stranger with every retelling. In every quiet town and along every rural road, there's a weird and wonderful story just waiting to be told. Sometimes the strangest tales come from the most unassuming places, old buildings, lonely crossroads, or sleepy main streets. These legends add a fascinating layer of mystery to Wisconsin's identity, reminding us that there's always more to a place than meets the eye. They invite us to look closer, to listen to the stories, and to embrace the unknown. One of the most famous and enduring legends comes from the town of Rhinelander, deep in the North Woods, a creature so bizarre and unforgettable that it's become a true symbol of the region's wild imagination. With the head of a frog, the back of a dinosaur, and horns as sharp as daggers, this legendary beast is known as the Hodag. Its appearance alone is enough to spark curiosity and a little bit of fear. The Hodag's story began as a clever local prank, a tall tale spun to entertain and amuse. But over time it grew into something much bigger, a legend that captured the imagination of the entire state and beyond. Today, the Hodag is celebrated at festivals and parades, bringing people together in the spirit of fun and community. It's a tale that perfectly captures Wisconsin's quirky, fun-loving spirit and proves that sometimes the best legends are the ones that make you smile and bring people closer. So, for a moment, let's set aside the cheese and the cold. Step with me into the shadowy woods, where the line between fact and folklore blurs, and meet Wisconsin's most famous and most mysterious resident, the Hodag. Every monster needs a creator, and for the Hodag, that was Eugene Shepard, a Rhinelander timber cruiser and legendary prankster. Shepard was more than just a woodsman. He was a master of mischief, a man whose wit and humor were as sharp as his axe. In the late 1800s, Rhinelander was a rough-and-tumble logging town, and Shepard's tall tales brought laughter and wonder to the hard-working men who called the forests home. Shepard was known for his wild imagination and love of storytelling, delighting friends and neighbors with tales that blurred fact and fiction. Around campfires and in crowded parlors, he spun yarns that left listeners questioning what was real and what was pure invention. His stories were more than entertainment. They were a way to bring people together, to spark curiosity, and to add a little magic to everyday life. In 1893, he published a newspaper article claiming a terrifying creature had been discovered in the woods. The article described a beast so fearsome that even the bravest loggers hesitated to venture too deep into the forest. Word spread quickly, and soon the entire town was abuzz with speculation and excitement. He gave it a name, a backstory, and even claimed it was the reincarnation of abused lumber camp oxen seeking revenge. This detail added a layer of dark humor and local color, making the Hodag feel like a creature born from the very heart of Rhinelander's logging culture. By tying the Hodag to the logging industry, Shepard made the legend feel real and relevant. The loggers, who spent their days among towering pines and shadowy swamps, could almost believe such a beast might be lurking just out of sight. The story became a part of their daily lives, woven into the fabric of the community. He described the Hodag as smelling of buzzard meat and swamp gas and said it only ate white bulldogs on Sundays. These outlandish details were so specific and strange that they made the creature unforgettable and gave people something to talk about, laugh about, and even fear, if only a little. These bizarre details made the story irresistible. People couldn't help but share the tale, embellishing it with each retelling, and soon, the Hodag became a local sensation. Soon, people all over Rhinelander were buzzing. Could such a creature really exist? The legend spread beyond the logging camps, capturing the imagination of townsfolk, visitors, and even curious reporters from neighboring counties. Shepard's genius was not just inventing a monster, but creating a whole mythology around it. He understood the power of a good story, and he used it to unite his community, inspire wonder, and put Rhinelander on the map. With his knack for promotion, he watched his legend grow far beyond the pine forests. The Hodag became more than a story. It became a symbol of Rhinelander's spirit, creativity, and sense of fun. The seed of the Hodag had been planted, and it was about to take root, growing into a legend that would endure for generations to come. So what did the Hodag actually look like? Shepard's description was unforgettable. Imagine a giant frog's head with a gaping mouth full of dagger-like teeth, framed by two curving horns. Its eyes glowed bright green, piercing the darkness of the woods. The body? Like a dinosaur's, covered in bony plates and sharp spikes. Short, thick legs ended in claws that could tear through wood, and a long tail ended in a spear-like point. The Hodag was a Frankenstein's monster of the animal kingdom, part frog, part dinosaur, part bulldog. Shepard claimed it was incredibly strong, foul-tempered, and nearly impossible to kill. Only dynamite could do the job. The details were so specific and strange, people couldn't help but wonder if it was real. The Hodag became the talk of the Northwoods, a beast that haunted imaginations and campfire stories alike. Shepard's creative storytelling made the Hodag feel less like a myth and more like a dangerous new species. The legend was alive, and the people were hooked. Shepard knew he had to take the Hodag legend further, so he claimed to have captured one. In 1896, he announced that he and a group of hunters had tracked the beast to its lair and subdued it with dynamite. Of course, there was no real monster. Shepard built one with wood, animal hides, cattle horns, and steel claws. The life-sized model was terrifying, hidden in a dimly lit shed and shown only to a select few. Those who saw it swore it was real, fueling the legend even more. Shepard controlled the narrative, letting rumors and excitement build before a public unveiling. He spun thrilling tales of the hunt, describing the Hodag's roars and wild thrashing. Newspapers picked up the story, and soon, Shepard was a local hero, a monster hunter who had faced the Northwoods' most dangerous predator. The line between fact and fiction blurred, and the Hodag's fame exploded. Shepard's hoax was working better than he could have ever imagined. With his captured Hodag ready to shock the world, Shepard brought his creation to the first Oneida County Fair, eager to unveil his masterpiece to the public. The anticipation in the air was electric. Word had already begun to spread about the mysterious beast from the Northwoods. County fairs were the highlight of the year for many rural families, drawing people from miles around. The promise of a real-life monster, something no one had ever seen before, drew massive crowds, all buzzing with curiosity and excitement. People came not just for the rides and food, but to witness the impossible. Shepard set up his exhibit in a dimly lit tent, carefully controlling the atmosphere. He charged a dime for a glimpse of the beast, a small fortune for some, but the chance to see the legendary Hodag was irresistible. The low light inside the tent was no accident. It cleverly hid the seams of the papier-mâché monster and made the glass eyes glow with an eerie, almost supernatural light, adding to the illusion and mystery. Shepard played the consummate showman, spinning wild and dramatic tales about the Hodag's ferocity and the danger he faced capturing it. His booming voice and theatrical gestures kept the crowd enthralled as people lined up for hours, eager for their turn. Behind the scenes, Shepard's sons worked tirelessly, pulling wires and levers to make the Hodag twitch, swish its tail, and even let out a menacing growl. The mechanical tricks brought the creature to life, making the illusion even more convincing. The effect was electrifying. People screamed, gasped, and sometimes even ran out of the tent in terror, only to urge their friends and family to see it too. The Hodag became the talk of the fairgrounds, and stories of the encounter spread like wildfire. The Hodag quickly became the star attraction of the fair, drawing bigger crowds than any other exhibit. Soon Shepard realized he had something special and took his show on the road, touring county fairs across Wisconsin. Newspapers couldn't get enough of the story. Sensational headlines and wild rumors filled the pages, and Shepard's fame soared as the legend of the Hodag grew. For a brief magical time, Shepard convinced thousands that he had done the impossible, captured a living legend. The excitement and wonder he inspired were unmatched. The clever prankster from Rhinelander had created a sensation, blending showmanship, storytelling, and a bit of mischief into an unforgettable spectacle. The Hodag was now a legend in its own right, and everyone, young and old, wanted to see it with their own eyes. The line stretched on, and the excitement never seemed to fade. Shepard's monster had become a statewide phenomenon, cementing its place in Wisconsin folklore and ensuring that the legend of the Hodag would live on for generations to come. As the Hodag's fame grew, so did skepticism. Scientists from the Smithsonian announced plans to investigate the creature. Shepard knew his hoax wouldn't survive real scrutiny. Before the experts arrived, he confessed. The Hodag was a prank built from wood, hides, and horns. Instead of outrage, the public was amused and impressed by his creativity. Shepard's showmanship had entertained thousands, and the revelation only made the legend stronger. The story shifted from a fearsome monster to a clever local hoax. The Hodag became a symbol of Northwood's humor and ingenuity. Shepard was celebrated as a folk hero, and the community embraced the tale. The hoax was over, but the legend was just beginning a new chapter. The Hodag story was now part of Rhinelander's identity. After the truth came out, Rhinelander embraced the Hodag as its own. The town turned the prank into a point of pride, making the Hodag a symbol of creativity and community spirit. Today, a giant Hodag statue greets visitors, and tourists flock to snap photos with the iconic beast. The Hodag is everywhere, on police cars, city signs, business logos, and as the high school mascot. Shops sell Hodag souvenirs, and the annual Hodag Country Festival draws thousands. The legend became Rhinelander's greatest marketing tool, and a source of endless fun. By adopting the Hodag, the town showed its sense of humor and unity. The story brought people together and gave Rhinelander a unique identity. The Hodag now belongs to everyone in the community. The Hodag story has lasted over 125 years, woven into Wisconsin's culture. It's more than a monster or a hoax. It's a testament to the power of storytelling and imagination. The Hodag's blend of scary and silly makes it impossible to forget. Born in the logging camps, it captures the spirit of tall tales and creative pranks. The community didn't just accept the legend, they celebrated it, turning a hoax into a shared source of pride. The Hodag became an inside joke, a symbol of local identity that connects generations. Its greatest legacy is the joy it brings, reminding us that legends can be fun, clever, and unifying. The story makes people smile, and the memory of the prank lives on. The Hodag proves that sometimes the best legends are the ones that celebrate human ingenuity and humor. In Rhinelander, the Hodag is more than a story, it's a way of life. Today, the Hodag is more alive than ever, a true piece of American folklore. The story is retold in books, TV shows, and online, reaching audiences far beyond Wisconsin. Children learn about the Hodag in school, and families visit Rhinelander to see the famous statue. The legend endures because it's a fantastic story, mysterious, funny, and unforgettable. The Hodag is a friendly monster, a symbol of quirky Wisconsin charm. Annual festivals and local traditions keep the story fresh for new generations. The Hodag and Rhinelander are now inseparable, each giving meaning to the other. So next time you think of Wisconsin, remember the cheese, the cold, and the legendary Hodag of the Northwoods.